Omajnanatimrandasya Jnanasana Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswata Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Samavadi Paskachani Satani. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Today we will discuss Canto 10, Chapter 43. Krishna kills the elephant Kuvalaya Priya. I will first read Srila Prabhupada's summary of the chapter. This chapter tells how Lord Krishna killed the lordly elephant Kuvalaya Pida. How Krishna and Balaram entered the wrestling arena, and what Krishna said to the wrestler Chanura. After finishing their early morning rituals, Krishna and Balaram heard kettle drums heralding the start of the wrestling match, and they went to see the festivities. At the gate of the wrestling arena, they encountered an elephant named Kuvalaya Pida, who attacked Krishna at the urging of his keeper. The mighty elephant grabbed at Krishna with his trunk, but the Lord struck back and then disappeared from the beast's side among his legs. Enraged at not being able to see Krishna, Kuvalaya Pida sought him out with his sense of smell and seized him. But the Lord pulled loose. In this way, Krishna teased and tormented Kuvalaya Pida, finally yanking out one of his tusks and beating him and his keepers to death. Sprinkled with the elephant's blood and carrying one of his tusks on his shoulder as a weapon, Lord Krishna appeared unprecedentedly beautiful as he entered the wrestling arena. There the various classes of people saw him in different ways, according to their specific relationship with him. When King Kamsa heard how Krishna and Balaram had killed Kuvalaya Pida, he realized they were invincible and became filled with anxiety. The members of the audience, on the other hand, became joyful as they reminded one another about the Lord's amazing pastimes. The people declared that Krishna and Balaram must be two expansions of the Supreme Lord Narayan, who had descended in the house of Vasudeva. Chanura then stepped forward and challenged Krishna and Balaram to wrestle, saying King Kamsa wished to see such a match. Krishna replied, "Although we are merely nomadic forest people, we are nonetheless the subjects of the king. Thus we will not hesitate to please him with an exhibition of wrestling." As soon as Chanura heard this, he suggested that Krishna would wrestle him and that Balaram would wrestle Mustika. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We have the first verse. Shri Shuka Uvacha Ata Krishna Saramascha Kitta Suchi Parantapa Malla Dundubi Nirgosham Shudvadrastam Upeyatu. Sukadev Goswami said, "O chastiser of the enemies, Krishna and Balaram have executed all necessary purification. Then heard the kettle drums resounding at the wrestling arena, and they went there to see what was happening." The purport. Srila Sridhar Swami explains the word Krita Sucha. So Krita Sucha in the word-for-word translation is having carried out purification. So having executed all necessary purification as follows. 2 days previously, Krishna and Balaram had executed their purification, their relief from offense, by performing heroic deeds, the Lord reasoned. Even after we have made our power known by breaking the bow and by performing other feats, our parents have still not secured freedom. Kamsa is again trying to kill them. Therefore, although he is our maternal uncle, it will not be wrong for us to kill him. They assured their offenselessness by this reasoning. Now, let's first see what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says on this verse. The 43rd chapter describes the killing of the best of elephants, Krishna's entrance into the arena and his discussion with Chanura. Atta then signifies, the word atta then that signifies that Krishna and Balaram in the early morning, without telling their father and elders, went to the bank of the Yamuna with their friends, and after washing their face and hands, said to their friends, "Oh friends, you can hear the drums announce the wrestling match. Let us now leave here and go to the arena," saying that they quickly went to the arena to see the match. So we have these drums, bring up a particular spirit, I would say a very masculine spirit. And Krishna and Balaram is hearing these drums. There is tension in the air. What is going to happen when Krishna goes there? So Kamsa put his powerful elephant Kuvalaya Pida waiting outside the wrestling arena. You can see there are other comments that just a moment. We have Shiva Goswami. He went with a pretext of desiring to see what was happening. In order to fool the elephant trainer, he put on wrestler's costume with lower and upper pieces. Interesting. Otherwise, it would be useless to say later that he bound up his waistcloth. He then approached the arena. "O destroyer of the enemies, you are a person to oppose such evil persons, evil men." Chocha can mean that the two boys were without offense for killing the guardians of the bow, or it can mean that, like ordinary men, they underwent purification for the killing, leaving the elder cowards to take bath in the river. Sanatan Goswami has a different approach, he sees other things. The two boys would kill the demons. Now, after Nanda had been called, it was not proper to go to the demons with his dear devotees. Since they had gone, he should go there quickly. He attracted the hearts of the devotees with the desire to kill the demons. Balaram gave enjoyment to his friends, Rama. Though Krishna is mentioned first because he is the main person in all cases, because Balaram was eager to kill the demons. The repetition of the word Sha indicates that they were equally prominent. Because he went with his younger brother out of affection and followed his will, he is given equal status. Hearing the loud noise from the drums and the wrestlers, they went to see the match. They went without the wrestler's dress, very gently, to fool the elephant trainer and other destroyer of the enemies. This was proper for killing the enemies. You have a similar nature. So, yes, text 2. Text 2. When Lord Krishna reached the entrance of the arena, he saw the elephant Kuvalayapita blocking his way at the urging of his keeper. So the elephant keeper revealed his malicious intent by blocking Lord Krishna's entrance into the arena. So you may remember the washerman. So why did Krishna want the clothes of the washerman? He wanted to dress in a flamboyant, wonderful way for the wrestling that was about to happen. He wanted this wonderful clothing because he was just coming from the village. He was wearing ordinary village cloth. So he wanted some fancy cloth. So everyone is in the arena waiting, including Nanda Maharaj, but of course not Vasudeva and Devaki. Because Krishna broke the bow, he killed all the soldiers, and still Kamsa did not release Vasudeva and Devaki. So everyone is waiting for Krishna and Balaram. And Krishna and Balaram start walking to the entrance. And there is this big elephant, a huge elephant, and with a long tail and legs that are huge and powerful, and a strong trunk, and huge sharp tusks. And the elephant keeper is on top of the mohut. So he is poking the elephant with a goad, with an ankush. And ankush has a very sharp point. So he's being struck with that sharp point, and he's getting angry. And he's getting angry and angrier. So the elephant keeper wants him to get so angry that he will kill Krishna. That is his assignment. He was blocking the entrance to the arena. Now, what did Krishna do? Text 3. Text 3. Securely binding up his clothes and tying back his curly locks, Lord Krishna addressed the elephant keeper with words as grave as the rumbling cloud. So Lord Krishna was preparing for a fight. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Lord put aside his jacket, tightened his belt, and tied back his hair. So Lord Krishna will give the elephant keeper a warning. But before hearing that warning, we will read the commentary of Srila Chakravarti Thakur. Text 3. Krishna took up his shirt and bound his clothing with a belt. He placed garlands and other dangling objects over his shoulder. Though he tucked his curly locks under his turban with his fingers, at the time of combat he feared that they would become loose, so he also tied his upper cloth around his head. The acharyas, they see all these details. That Jiva Goswami writes, in order to give bliss to the dynasties of warriors, he now acted like a warrior, Sauri. Taking off his jacket, he bound a sash around his dhoti and put a long garland over his shoulders. This garland will be described in verse 19. Previously, his naturally curly long hair had been combed and hidden beneath a shining turban. At this time, he bound his locks tightly with his upper cloth for fear that they would be scattered while wrestling. Another version is Samuya instead of Samuya. His poetic license. It was proper to completely bind his locks, since in killing the wicked there would be nothing blocking his face, and thus the demons would derive benefit from seeing his beauty. According to Sridhar Swami, he put his cloth and then tied up the cloth since it had fallen out of place, or Bada Pavikaram can mean he put on the cloth. That text 4, the warning. Lord Krishna said, O driver, move aside at once and let us pass. If you don't, this very day I will send you and your elephant to the abode of Yamaraj. So time means death for everyone. The elephant resembled time, unstoppable. That we will hear again Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on this verse. So, I will send you to the abode of Yama Sadhanam. It also indicates liberation, as Yam can also mean by mind control, and sadhana means to attain. To attain that which is attained by control of the mind. Jiva Goswami said, Krishna addressed the elephant keeper twice in order to make clear his determination or to express his anger. He spoke to indicate that blocking the road was a great offense. Move off the road immediately, Apakram. I will send you to the abode of death. Present tense is used to indicate the near future. You have spent up your time. Today I will send you to death. The other meaning of Yamasadhanam is that which is produced as satyate by control of the mind Yama. This indicates liberation. So the present tense, Sanatana Goswami says, indicates right now. Kunja means he who crumbles the earth, Ku with his tusk and weight. This indicates the elephant's strength. So text 5. Thus threatened the elephant keeper became angry. He goaded this furious elephant, who appeared equal to time, death, and Yamaraj into attacking Lord Krishna. that, see, text 5. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He instigated the elephant to catch Krishna. The elephant is described as being like Yamaraj, who brings an end to life through the force of time, Kalantaka. However, Krishna is the master of time, which is stronger than the elephant. Thus the elephant and his trainer could not harm to Krishna. By using this phrase, Sukadev was comforting fearful Parikshit. Yes. So, text 6. The lot of elephants charged Krishna and violently seized him with his trunk. But Krishna slipped away, struck him a blow and disappeared from his view among his legs. He went to his legs. So Krishna struck the elephant with his fist and disappeared among his legs. So the elephant could not see him anymore. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur again. With his trunk, the elephant seized the waist of Krishna, who was standing there fearlessly. Then Krishna struck the elephant on his trunk with his left fist, and the elephant released Krishna. Krishna disappeared between his 4 huge legs. First he would hide behind one leg, and when the elephant used his sense of smell to detect him, Krishna would hide beyond another leg. In this way, playfully, Krishna cheated the elephant in many ways and showed the public his remarkable daring. Shiva Goswami. Krishna allowed the elephant to grab him using his trunk, since Krishna was capable of doing anything out of great curiosity. This will be understood later by the words Lilaya and Kridaya. He skillfully escaped Vigalita from the elephant without putting his garland or cloth in disarray. This is explained later. He went between the 4 legs and became invisible. So, text 7. Infuriated at being unable to see Lord Keshav, the elephant sought him out with his sense of smell. Once again, Kuvalaya Pida seized the Lord with the end of his trunk, only to have the Lord forcefully free himself. So Krishna allowed the elephant to seize him, so that the beast would be encouraged to keep fighting. Once Kuvalayapida had thus become proud, Lord Krishna again thwarted him with his superior potency. So infuriated, but means boiling anger. So then text 8 and 9. 8. So Lord Krishna then grabbed the powerful Kuvalayapida by the tail and playfully dragged him 25 bow lengths as easily as Garuda might drag a snake. As Lord Asyuta held onto the Lord's tail, elephant tail, the animal tried to twist away to the left and to the right, making the Lord swerve in the opposite direction, as a young boy would swerve when pulling a calf by the tail. So again, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that this is on text 8, that Krishna dragged the elephant 25 dhanas or 100 astas distant by his tail. The elephant was unable to prevent this. So it's a big elephant, very heavy. Krishna dragged him. Shiva Goswami says something similar. He dragged the elephant just as Yata Garuda drags a snake, or he dragged him such that the elephant could not remain in one place at all. And text 9, Vishwanath. In order to encourage the elephant to fight, Krishna decreased the speed of his pulling. When the elephant gained strength in order to catch Krishna, who was holding his tail, he would turn to the left. Krishna would then go to the right. And when the elephant would turn to the right, Krishna would go to the left, just as a strong boy moves while pulling a calf by the tail. So Shiva Goswami. Krishna at no time stopped grasping his tail, Asyuta, or he was motionless like a circle made by a firebrand going left and right because of the quick movements of the elephant. Now, text 10, that text 10. So Krishna then came face to face with the elephant and slapped him and ran away. Kuvalayapida pursued the Lord, managing to touch him again and again with each step, but Krishna outmaneuvered the elephant and made him trip and fall. It's funny. So Sridhar Swami says, running excellently in all directions, Krishna was fooling him to fall down. Now we have Vishwanath. In order to play in a different way, Krishna let go of the elephant's tail. Krishna struck the elephant lightly, because if he killed the elephant, his play would be finished. After striking the elephant, he quickly ran away, but lessened his speed to encourage the elephant. He first showed his speed to the elephant, which was done without effort by Krishna. When the elephant began to touch him, he stumbled as if tired of running and made the elephant fall onto the ground. Jiva Goswami. After being dragged around, Krishna faced the elephant and slapped him only slightly, otherwise the elephant would have died instantly. The elephant could not run away, since he was in great pain. Krishna let the elephant touch him to encourage the elephant, otherwise he would have given up and run away, and Krishna would not have had much fun. So text 11 and 12. It seems that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they see the pastime and they reveal so many details that so text 11. As Krishna dodged about, he playfully fell on the ground and quickly got up again. The raging elephant, thinking Krishna was down, tried to gore him with his tusks, but struck the earth instead. Text 12. His prowess foiled. The lordly elephant, Kuvalayapida, went into a frenzied rage out of frustration. But the elephant keepers goaded him on, and he furiously charged Krishna once again. So then we have text 13. So yeah, of course, if we can do something successfully, we also become angry. So the elephant was raging. And now text 13. The supreme lord killer of the demon Madhu confronted the elephant as he attacked. Seizing his trunk with one hand, Krishna threw him on the ground. So, with one hand, just with one hand, he threw the elephant on the ground. Of course, with one finger he lifted Govardhan. Text 14. Lord Hari then climbed unto the elephant with the ease of a mighty lion, pulled out a tusk with it, and killed the beast and his keepers. That's the end of Kuvalaya Pida. So why did he use the tusk? He could have used his hand, but Krishna does what he likes. And he wants a good drama. How wonderful. How wonderful, with his own tusk, which the elephant tried to use to kill him. Everyone wanted Krishna to triumph, except for Kamsa and his faithful and loyal followers. Let's see if we have some commentaries from our acharyas here. So this is on text 11, Vishvana. In order that the elephant would strike the hard stone on the ground with force, Krishna pretended to fall on the ground and not get up quickly. Seeing Krishna on the ground, the elephant became determined to kill him. The elephant fell on his knees and dug the earth with his tusks, but Krishna had already quickly got up and fled. Text 12. Shiva Goswami. The elephant by nature was very angry, but now reached the height of anger. Urged on by strainers, he rushed toward Krishna in intense anger. Sanatan Goswami on 12. His prowess was thwarted, pratyate, or his prowess was destroyed by the Lord's cleverness. The elephant by nature was angry, but now reached the height of anger. Urged on by strainers, he rushed toward Krishna in intense anger. All the trainers...
Maharaj, the screen is falling.
Please? Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
I see my interconnection is unstable, so sometimes it may happen, but yeah, let's see. So I'm going back to the commentaries. Sanatan Goswami. His prowess was thwarted, pratyate, or his prowess was destroyed by the Lord's cleverness. The elephant by nature was angry, but now reached the height of anger. Urged by strange trainers, he rushed toward Krishna in intense anger. All the trainers at this time participated in agitating the elephant. He quickly rushed at Krishna, who attacked him. Then on verse 13, Krishna saw the time was passing and playing with the elephant was about to end. With one hand, the left hand, he casually caught the elephant's trunk. Shiva Goswami. That he was Swayam Bhagavan and could kill the Madhu demon by his portion in a human form according to the pastimes for wrestling, he grasped the elephant's trunk with his hand. Sanatan Goswami. He had killed Madhu, the first demon, thus he was very strong. By his will he could kill the elephant, but he is described as most astonishing with sweetness. He displayed his powers as the Lord in fighting, Bhagavan. Although he was the killer of Madhu, he was Bhagavan. Thus with his hand he held the elephant's trunk constantly, or held it tightly, and threw the elephant to the ground. This was greater than killing Madhu. Now text 14, there's only one comment by Shiva Goswami. That's when Krishna killed the elephant. When the elephant fell down, patitam tam, he climbed its head with his foot. Another version has patitasya, he climbed on the elephant with his foot and uprooted the tusks of the fallen elephant. He's called Hari because he took away Hari, the life of the elephant, like a lion, and assumed a form like a lion in killing it. So now we have text 15. Leaving the dead elephant aside, Lord Krishna held on to the tusk and entered the wrestling arena. With the tusk resting on his shoulder, drops of the elephant's blood and sweat sprinkled all over him, and his lotus face covered with fine drops of his own perspiration, the Lord shone with great beauty. So Sridhar Swami, he says he entered the arena. At that time, he shone with the beauty of a hero, with the elephant tusk placed on his shoulder, so marked with drops of blood, and and the mada, the fluid or excrete, the sweat from the elephant. And his lotus feet, Sridhar Swami writes, exuding small drops of perspiration. That's how he entered the wrestling arena. Let's see what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is commenting on this. Krishna appeared as the epitome of Viraras, with his lotus-faced exuding drops of perspiration, like drops of dew mixed with the drops of blood, and mada from the elephant. Thus the tusk perched on his shoulder. Amazing how many details our acharyas give. Shiva Goswami. He held one tusk in his left hand and Balaram pulled out the other tusk, since it is mentioned in the next verse that they held the tusks as weapons. So there was a cooperation. Also Balaram pulled out the tusk. He slightly entered the gate of the arena, Avishat, with special beauty, walking like an intoxicated elephant Sam. His face was ornamented with drops of blood, as if he had been painted, and had drops of perspiration appearing colorfully or excellently, Viruda. Since it is impossible for transformation such as perspiration to occur in the form of eternity, knowledge and bliss, such unlimited qualities appear and disappear according to pastimes. His face was like a lotus that becomes beautiful with drops of water on it. So, text 16. Krishna is now walking into the arena, and it's further described. My dear King, Lord Baladev, as Lord Janardhan, each carrying one of the elephant tusks as his chosen weapon, entered the arena with several coward boys, so they were not alone. So what Aaron's Acharyas adding to that? Jiva Goswami has a comment. To reinforce the previous verse, further description is added. Some of Krishna's close friends from Gokula had come along with elders such as Nanda. Balaram manifested special power at this moment to kill the wicked out of affection for his younger brother. Devotees like Narad, Jana had requested Ardhana that Krishna kill Kamsa, Janardhan. Sukadev calls out to Parikshit in joy, "O king, they put a tusk on their shoulders as the best weapons to kill Kamsa and to instill fear in him, or they put the best elephant tusks on their shoulders as weapons." And Jiva Goswami many times also thinks that Sukadev Goswami speaking to Maharaj Parikshit and the sages and what's going on there at the same time. It's amazing, their insight. Text 17. Now, this is an important verse that quoted by Srila Prabhupada on different occasions to show how different people have different relationships with Krishna. The various groups of people in the arena regarded Krishna in different ways. That when he entered it with his elder brother. The resters saw Krishna as a lightning bolt, the men of Mathura as the best of males, the women as Cupid in person, the coward men as their relative, the impious rulers as a chastiser, his parents as their child, the king of the Bhojas as deaf, the unintelligent as the Supreme Lord's universal form, and the yogis as the absolute truth, and the Vrishnis as their supreme worshipable deity. Now we have a purport here, quite a long purport in comparison with the previous ones. Srila Sridhar Swami quotes the following verse which explains the 10 attitudes toward Krishna described here. Rodra Bhuta Sashingaro Asyam Virodaya Tata Vayanagasa Bibbatsa Santa Prema Bhakti Kaha. There are 10 different moods. Fury, perceived by the wrestlers. Wonder by the man. Conjugal attraction, the women. Laughter, the cowards. Chivalry, the king's mercy is the king's, and mercy, his parents. Terror, experienced by Kamsa. Ghastliness, That's the intelligence and unintelligent who are experiencing that. Peaceful neutrality, the yogis, and loving devotion, the Vaishnavas. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti points out that people like the wrestlers, Kamsa, and the impious rulers perceive Krishna as dangerous, angry, or threatening because they fail to understand the actual position of the personality of Godhead. Actually, Lord Krishna is everyone's friend and well-wisher, but because we rebel against him, he chastises us, and thus we may perceive him as threatening. Krishna, or God, is actually merciful, and when he punishes us, that is also his mercy. Srila Bhaktivedanta Sarasvati Thakur quotes the following Vedic statement: Rasavai sarasam ye vayam labhavanadi bhavati. He himself is rasa, the taste or mellow of a particular relationship. And certainly one who achieves this rasa becomes anadi, filled with bliss. Taittiriya Upanishad 271. Srila Bhaktivedanta Sarasvati quotes a further verse to explain the word rasa. Vyatitya bhavana vartma yasamatkara parabhu riddhi sattvochvale badam svadate sarasomata. That which is beyond imagination, heavy with wonder, and relished in the heart, shining with goodness, such is known as rasa. Heavy with wonder and relished. As Srila Rupa Goswami elaborately explained in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are 5 main rasas: neutrality, servitude, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love, and 7 secondary rasas: amazement, humor, chivalry, compassion, fury, fear, and dread. Thus altogether there are 12 rasas, and the supreme object of them all is Krishna himself. In other words, our love and affection are actually meant for Sri Krishna. Unfortunately, out of ignorance, we stubbornly try to squeeze happiness and love out of material relationships, which are not directly connected to Krishna. And thus, life becomes a constant frustration. The solution is simple: surrender to Krishna, love Krishna's devotees, and be happy forever. So this is an important verse, 17. Everyone in the arena saw Krishna according to their consciousness in a different way. So we heard here at the end of the purport, the solution is simply to surrender to Krishna, love Krishna's devotees, and be happy forever. The solution is simple, but the price is high. Surrender is only the beginning. The ladies in Mathura, they dropped everything and ran like the gopis, not caring for anything, not for the reactions. They felt so spontaneously attracted to Krishna. But it's not a material sentiment. Rati means sentiment, but not a material sentiment. There must be a true grounding in spiritual attachment to Krishna. Otherwise it's sentimental. It will not last. Spiritual sentiment is unbreakable. Nothing material can lure someone away who loves Krishna. Nothing material can lure away someone who loves Krishna from the loving service of Krishna. So the position of being situated in bhakti is the only position where one is situated in true bhakti. Everyone else has a price. But if we want to be on that level, then we must say, I'm yours, Krishna. It begins with surrender. We will hear now the commentary on this important verse by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Yes, rapport. And he has quite a long commentary, but an important commentary. We will read it. Krishna is shown to be the direct embodiment of all the meanings of the Upanishads. Of all the meanings of the Upanishads by showing how he appeared differently to the different types of people assembled at the arena, in accordance to their different inner feelings. So Krishna reciprocates with their inner feelings. In front of the wrestlers like Chanura, who had bodies as big as mountains, he was like a thunderbolt. Though Krishna has soft, sweet, cooling limbs, he appeared to the envious wrestlers to be extremely hard, like a mountain, with pain-inflicting limbs. Though sugar candy is sweet, it tastes bitter to one with jaundice. Though Krishna's form was seen by the wrestlers and similarly inclined spectators there, they did not taste the real form of the Lord Svarup, but rather experienced rasabhas in their hearts. For the public of Mathura, who were endowed with a general prema from birth, without envy and other unfavorable elements, he appeared as the best of men, with pure sattva in his heart, with the best form, qualities, pastimes, most astonishing in human society. This was Vishmayaras. The young women of Mathura experienced him as Cupid, without any trace of material lust, since they were full of prema. They experienced Ujjvala rasa by mentioning that Krishna was Murtiman. It is indicated that all other realizations are angas of this Svarup. The cowherd boys experienced Krishna's Svarup also, since friendliness to cowherd boys is his very nature. They experienced Sakya and Asya rasa. The impious kings, those who tormented the innocent earth, the offenders of devotees, saw him as their destroyer. The form of destroyer is not a Svarup embodying all bliss and friendship. Like the wrestlers, they did not taste Krishna, but an abhas of Rodra rasa. His parents Nanda and Vasudeva, or Vasudeva and Devaki, saw him as a baby. They tasted this Svarup. For being the son of Nanda and Vasudeva is Krishna's Svarup. They experienced Vatsalya ras and Karuna ras on seeing Krishna amidst those who wanted to kill him. Kamsa saw Krishna as deaf. So Krishna, who is a stream of sweet nectar, does not have a Svarup of death. Thus Kamsa did not taste Krishna, but simply an abhas of Bhayanika rasa. Those without knowledge, such as the priest of Kamsa and other offenders, saw Krishna as one individual material human. The foolish call him the Supreme Lord, but we can see with our eyes that he is most despicable, taking others' wives, killing bulls, appearing now before us with bodies smeared with bones and blood of an animal. He does the most unethical things. Such speakers as this, most sinful, without anger, were lower than Kamsa. They had an abhas of Vibhatsa rasa. The yogis like Sanaka and other experiences Krishna's Svarup as Brahman, with Santaras, the members of the Yadu dynasty, saw Krishna as the most worshipful Supreme Lord. They tasted this Svarup in Dasyaras. Among the 10 people described at arena for being materialistic, were not able to taste the real rasa of Krishna, who is the source of all rasa. So the other 6 types tasted 8 of the rasas. The Upanishad says that, and that's also quoted in the purport, Rasavai sa rasam evayam labanandi bhavati. The Supreme Lord is a very form of rasa. Having tasted that rasa, or most astonishing bliss, the jiva becomes completely blissful. It is confirmed here in the 10th canto at the wrestling arena that Krishna is that rasa, rasavaisa, that a person may be blissful. If he attains that rasa or Krishna, tam labda, he then becomes completely full of bliss. Anandi bhavati. The Upanishad's text dealing with rasa should be explained in this way. So Shiva Goswami has pages of comments on this. It would lead us too far to read that all in detail. Pages and pages is commenting on this verse. Also Sanatan Goswami has a number of pages of comments on this verse. We will see if we have still time, but we will first read the last 2 verses of today, and then we can go back. Text 18. When Kamsa saw the Kuvalaya Pida was dead and the 2 brothers were invincible, he was overwhelmed with anxiety, O king. Text 19. Arrayed with variegated ornaments, garlands and garments, just like a pair of excellently costumed actors, the 2 mighty armed lords shone splendidly in the arena. Indeed, they overpowered the minds of all onlookers with their effulgence. So Siddhar Swami says, when we say that they were like a band of actors coming on a stage, completely fearless in a situation that was theoretically meant for their death. So these are the verses for today we went through, but I'm going back to the commentaries that of Srila Vishva, of Jiva Goswami. Moment. Go back. We first read Sanatana Goswami. So Siddhar Swami says that here Krishna is described as a conglomeration of all rasas, since he is both the cause of rasa and its effect. Just a moment, I need to drink something. And he quotes also this verse from the Taittiriya Upanishad. The Lord is rasa, and attaining the rasa one attains bliss. The particulars are as follows, Sanatana Goswami says. The wrestlers who were proud, thinking themselves the best of warriors, became angry because Krishna, whose limbs were like thunderbolts, and acted with disregard, disrespected those who were also like thunderbolts, and in this state entered the arena. The wrestlers exhibited Krodasthayi Bhava and Raudaras. The citizens of Mathura, other than the Vikt and his devotees, on seeing his extraordinary pastime were amazed. They exhibited Vismaya Sthayi Bhav and Adbhutaras. The women of Mathura, other than the elder women, manifested Rati while thinking of him as their beloved. They exhibited Priyatasthayi Bhav and Sringaras. His friends of the same age, such as Sridham, exhibited Hasasthayi Bhav and Hasyaras on seeing with their unrestricted hearts with extraordinary costume, decorated with the elephant's blood and mother. The wicked king saw him as a punisher. They experienced Viryaras and the Sthayi Bhav called Utsaha on seeing his extreme courage. Devaki and Vasudeva, or Vasudevananda, and others as well, with similar sentiments, experienced Sukasthayi Bhav and Karunaras. It seems that Devaki and Vasudeva were there. They were worrying about the evil intentions of the wrestlers, since they thought his body was soft because they saw him as a baby. The Daya also, the word Daya also indicates this rasa. Kamsa saw him as the cause of his death. This is the Bhaya Sthayi Bhav. That was the Sthayi Bhav of Kamsa, or the Bhayanakaras. The ignorance experienced Yugupsa Sthayi and Bibhatsaras discussed, since they thought he was a material imperfect person, even though the wise understood him to have a body of eternity, knowledge and bliss. Devotees with a mixture of Jnana, saw him as Param Brahman, and experienced Santasthayi and Santaras. Samamamni Satabudhe. Sama means fixing the intelligence in me. The Santaras means being fixed in Krishna with peacefulness. Santaras refers to that affection which takes shelter of his Svarup, like there is absence of material desires possessing affection for him, while at the same time having absence of more intense bhavas like dasya or sakya. He was most worshipful for the Vaishnavas. He produced Saprema Bhakti Dasya. This means that they had bhakti with knowledge of him as being worshipable. Prema Bhakti was their Sthayi Bhav. That this is called as Prema Bhakti in Sridhar Swami's commentary. Then these are again this repetition which we find in the purport, this verse with these 10 rasas, that and then a lot of Sanskrit is here. The rasas have been summarized, since his limbs were like thunderbolts, beings most brilliantly shining. He was the object, the Visaya of anger. The wrestlers who insulted him were the Asraya. Krodha or anger. So Krodha or anger means to have a burning heart because of greatly disrespecting another person. This was their staiva. So Krishna reciprocates according to their staiva. The Lord, known as the shelter of extraordinary forms and pastimes, is the Visaya of Vishmayaras. The citizens of Mathura, who were generally favorable, were the Asrayas of this rasa. Expansion of the heart by seeing something astonishing is called Vishmaya. That is the Staibhav. In Shringa is known as more beautiful than 1,000,000 cupids. He is the Visaya and the young women are the Asraya. This becomes the cause of enjoyment. The Staibhav is called Priyata. Carrying the elephant tusks and dressed in an unusual manner, he became the object of laughter for friends. Shridan and others were the Asraya. When the heart blossoms on seeing his dress, it's called Hasyastai. When he is known as an equal in age among his friends, he is a Visaya of Sakya. Shridam and others are the Asraya. The heart is devoid of reverence and mercy, and as familiarity, Sakya is the Stayi. The coward boys have Asya and Sakya. So when he is known as being courageous because of having all weapons, he is the Visaya of Utsaha. Kamsa's friends are the Asraya. Utsaha is a Stayi. There is a desire to fight fiercely on seeing bravery. When he is known as a child in great danger, he is the Visaya of lamentation, Soka. Parents are the Asraya. Soka is the Stayi. Pain is experienced on knowing the child is in danger. When he is seen as one's son, he is the Visaya of Vatsalya. Parents and the Asraya, one knows compassion for Krishna. The Staya is Vatsalyam. Parents have both Karuna and Vatsalya. When he is seen as deaf and most terrifying, he is the Visaya of Bhaya, fear. Kamsa and others are the Asraya, having offended him, being fearful of him. Fear means a heart agitated by offense on seeing something terrifying. That is Stayi. When he is seen as disgusting, with perspiration and blood is object of Yuyupsa, ignorant people are the Asraya. Though the Lord is most beautiful, demons perceiving him as disgusting. When the heart closes with such feeling is called Jugupsa Stayi. When he is known as Paramatma, with a form of eternity, knowledge and bliss, is object of Santa. Yogis are the Asraya. Santa is the Rati, with qualities like Sama. When he is known as the Master, since he is the Supreme Deity, is object of Priti. Uddhav, Akrura and others are the Asraya. The Rati has respect. The Stayi is called Priti. Each rasa has its udipans, anubhavs, etc. For fear of too large a work, these are not explained. The coward boys have Prayan rasa. The parents have Vatsala rasa. That is clear. However, Sridhar Swami does not mention these two rasas in analyzing the different persons with rasas in the verse, since they are rare and correspond with Hasya and Karuna. Some say that the develop Hasya Rasa on seeing the Lord, whose two nails are worshipped by Brahma, acting as the friend of the cowherd boys. Although the Lord is full of all powers, when seen as imperfect by the ignorance, the listeners develop Bprs Rasa. But that is not correct. Moreover, Raudra, Vira, Bhayanaka, and Bprs rasas are not only rasa bhas in this verse, since they are not related to rati. Demons have no love for the Lord. The rasas are explained clearly in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So this is the quite extensive commentary of Sanatana Goswami, but the commentary of Shiva Goswami is also very long. I will read a few parts of it only because there is repetition. But like the citizens of Mathura, this is Shiva Goswami, the citizens of Mathura, other than the wicked and his devotees, on seeing his extraordinary pastimes, were amazed. They exhibited Vishmaya, Sthayi Bhav and Adbhuta Ras. The women of Mathura, other than the elder women, manifested Rati while thinking of him as their beloved. They exhibited Priyata, Sthayi Bhav and Sringara Ras. His friends of the same age as Sridham exhibited Hasya, Sthayi Bhav and Asya Ras on seeing, with unrestricted hearts, his extraordinary costume decorated with the elephant's blood and mada. So it's going to mainly to the same analysis as Sanatana Goswami. That, yes. Interesting, but this is Shiva Goswami. The Kumaras and others situated in the sky. There were others situated in the sky who were looking. They had Gyan. They saw him as the shelter of all things. Because of not having a great portion of favorable attitude, they realized him only as a supreme existence superior to Brahman, which is realized only as Svarupa, because they saw him as Bhagavan, a substantial object endowed with qualities. So further. So, yes, with the women of Mathura. Since Krishna appeared in their hearts with a manifestation of special sweetness causing conjugal love, they saw him as personified Cupid, as the material devata of love, having capacity to produce that love, though that was not possible, since material Cupid does not have a body, and Krishna was different, since he was the supreme deity. The chief of the Yadus saw Krishna as a supreme deity by a manifestation of great powers, since their knowledge of him as their relative was generally covered. Krishna was the dearest deity, their personal object of worship, since he was Swayam Bhagavan. At the time of great trouble in the association of Nanda and others, pure Vatsalya appeared in Vasudeva and Devaki, who were famous as Krishna's parents during his pastimes among the Yadus. However, when they thought of him as their infant, their Vatsalya was usually covered because of knowledge of his powers as the Lord. This can understood when they glorified him from his birth as the best of the Vishnus. The word Sva indicates that his relationship with Vasudeva and Devaki was more intimate than that with the rest of the Yadus. By their nature, the cowards such as Nanda thought of Krishna as their own child, and the coward like Sridham thought of him as their friends. Repeatedly, Sukadev has praised them in the Gokul pastimes and compared to them. Others are considered inferior. The following should also be understood, Jiva Goswami says. There are three types of bhavas. Bhava opposing affection, found in persons with unfavorable vision of Krishna. Bhava which is neutral to affection, found in the ignorance. And bhava filled with affection for those with knowledge and those who were devoted. Those who saw Krishna as a thunderbolt, a punisher, and death saw him generally with fear. Their fear did not produce rasa.
Maharaj, sorry, can you repeat those three different kinds of bhavas again?
Please say that again.
Could you kindly repeat the three kinds of bhavas that you just read? The first was opposing, and then...
Yeah, these three bhavas by Jiva Goswami. Oh my God. Bhava opposing affection, that's the first. This is found in persons with an unfavorable vision of Krishna. Second is second type of bhav, which is neutral to affection and is found in those who are ignorant. And the third one is the bhav filled with affection, found in those with knowledge and those who are devoted. The devotees. These are the three. It goes in such a deep analysis that there are 6 different sthaya bhavs, he says, and they are corresponding with 6 rasas. The Santi Sthaya Bhav has Santa Ras, the Prema Bhakti Sthaya has Prema Bhakti Ras, the Sakya Sthaya has Sakya Ras, Vatsalya Sthaya has Vatsalya Ras, Rati Sthaya has Shringara Ras, undifferentiated Priti has Priti Ras. And the 7 remaining rasas, starting with Adbhuta, so these are the secondary, experienced by devotees, appear and disappear in the devotees of the Lord along with their affection for the Lord. So yes, that's also a nectar of devotion. You have the Sthaya Bhav, which is the predominating rasa, and these 7 secondary rasas, they come and they go, but the Sthaya Bhav stays. So these 7 may be considered samsari bhavas, since these are the secondary, since they are secondary in nature. States of hostility or indifference to the Lord has been shown for the sake of knowledge only. These bhavas and rasas are explained in detail in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That we know that, and it goes on with deep analysis. But now we will end with the commentaries on verse 18 and 19. That 17 is an important verse, that it may be a question on your exam, which to describe some of these rasas, that should not, well, I don't know the questions, but it would not surprise me. So, on text 18, so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Dao Kamsa was very strong. He was worried before, and he became more worried now than Jiva Goswami. Though the elephant was killed outside the arena when Kamsa mounted a high gallery, he could see that the elephant had been killed. He understood that the two boys were invincible by seeing that he had killed the elephant and manifested great power. Though Kamsa was a powerful fighter, he became disturbed because they showed no fear in facing Kamsa. Sukadev addresses Parikshit in joy, since Kamsa was now unsettled in mind. That, commentaries on text 19, the last verse we read. I read the verse again. Arrayed with variegated ornaments, garlands, and garments, just like a pair of excellent costumed actors, the two mighty armed lords shone splendidly in the arena. Indeed, they overpowered the minds of all onlookers with their effulgences. Vishwanath Chakrabarti's one sentence comment. Krishna and Balaram embraced the minds of those who were looking at them. Jiva Goswami. Their dress and ornaments were of great variety and were most astonishing. The dress consisted of their tilak, etc., and their ornaments were their tilak earrings, bracelets. The ornaments manifested particular beauty while not being disturbed even during the great contest. The various onlookers' minds were agitated by his strength, manifesting as a thunderbolt to the wrestlers, etc., in the 10 types of persons. They were like actors, nata, dressed in the best costumes. One costume appeared different at different times, or they were like magicians, nata, showing simultaneously true and false images by their limbs and their magical powers. The last comment is from Sanatan Goswami. When they entered the arena, they appeared very beautiful. Their huge arms represent the attractiveness and strength of other limbs also. They had various or astonishing appearance, ornaments, garlands, and manner of dressing. Everyone's minds were attracted by their beauty by looking at them on the road secretly. Or they were like actors wearing astonishing ornaments and dress. Ordinary actors could not compare. So we heard about the killing of Kuvalayapida, the elephant, and Krishna entered the arena, and Krishna and Balaram, and how all those were sitting and looking in the arena, how they perceived Krishna and how they perceived Krishna very differently according to their style above. So I must say that in it was Bhujan Prabhu did not read all these comments. I read these comments because we have more time. That this chapter was finished in one lesson. We have 2 lessons for this chapter. So I was thinking, we have time, let's read the comments, and it gives us a deeper insight in what's happening. That good question time, discussion time. Yes, Prabhupada Priya.
Hare Krishna Raj, thank you for enlightening us with all those commentaries. So a lot of it is very much beyond my comprehension anyway. I'm just curious because usually when we hear about rasas, we tend to think that that's the person's eternal relationship with Krishna, in the spiritual world. But it seems that it's interesting that it seems to be described that people who are antagonistic to Krishna or are not mature in their spiritual realization, like the yogis, they haven't realized Bhagavan Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But still they have some rasa, like it's described like the secondary rasas. So can you explain that?
Yes, that's very interesting. That, of course, not everyone there was a devotee. That's clear. You have these three kinds of relationships. That, but yeah, Krishna reciprocates those who see him as a human being. For them, he will be a human being. That they see them accordingly. So Krishna reciprocates. Some are on the material platform, some are on the spiritual platform. But of course, these terms Taibhav and Anubhav, Vibhav, and secondary rasas and so on. It is Rupa Goswami has taken that from the drama world. That these are terms used in drama. And in drama, yes, not everyone is on the spiritual platform. It are rasas which exist also on the material level. They exist also there. But the original and the pure rasa on the spiritual level. But Rupa Goswami found it very useful to use these terms in explaining the spiritual relationships. And we see that here also, that so not everyone is on the spiritual platform here. And that, but also, it said, because Sanatana Goswami or Shiva Goswami says, yeah, Krishna entered their minds and gave them this vision that, of course, when the mind, yeah, Krishna is also the super soul and controls also our minds, what makes them uncontrolled according to our desires. That so Krishna does everything in the material world, but here especially it indicates that he reciprocates with someone's desires and mentality, and that is important. So becoming a devotee means changing our desire and mentality, changing our desires, and Krishna reciprocates with that. And Shiva Goswami gives these 3 levels, but we must go to the 3rd level, those who are devoted to Krishna. And then we will have beautiful transcendental relationship with Krishna, that even in this world. So that's...
I'm wondering, like, because rasa implies that there's some taste, there's something relishable there. So does that mean that Krishna enjoys, he takes some pleasure from these seemingly unfavorable rasas or relationships that people who are not devotees have with him?
That, yeah, rasa means taste, but you have this Bhayanika rasa, which is ghastly. That so yes, some people in this material world may enjoy that rasa, but generally we do not. But yes, Krishna reciprocates with them. That as he creates this material world with suffering and so on. Does Krishna enjoy that? No, not really. But he still reciprocates with our desires, and according to our karma, he gives us what we need. That So it's like at the end of Bhagavad Gita, the samam sarvabhuteshu namitvesh trinakriya, that yes, he is equal to everyone, and he is neutral as the super soul. So for these materialistic people, it's more the super soul that, the super soul is controlling material nature, is neutral. But for devotees, he reciprocates and enjoys that reciprocation because he wants love. So that's my understanding. So rasa, that spiritual rasa is certainly enjoyable, and some material rasas may also be enjoyable, but according to the people consciousness, if they are on a material platform, what for some is enjoyable, but that's, yes, may be different from what for another one is enjoyment. That you have those who like to see vampire films or these things, and that it's a material rasa. But Krishna is neutral, but he becomes different when there is devotion. That's in 926 explained. With devotees, he reciprocates. And we see that also. These ladies of Mathura, they have this ecstatic experience of his beauty and so on. And it's very enjoyable. So when you are on the spiritual platform, that we have also this chivalry. We had that Bhishmadev had that relationship with Krishna, and he was enjoying that. And this relationship, chivalry, is certainly not prominent in Bhaktivedanta, but maybe in Vaikuntha, but there's no fighting with demons, there's no fighting. So there are different situations. But saying that Krishna created the material world to experience material rasa, he does not need that. He does not need that. But it's to reciprocate with conditioned souls. That's my understanding.
And what about Kamsa? Does he have like an eternal relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world in a favorable way? Do we know anything about that?
Kamsa, he got liberation, but not sure he went to the spiritual world.
I mean, is it that everybody ultimately goes to the spiritual world, or do some people just never get there?
Well, that is also this expression of Nitya Bada that Srila Prabhupada explains. They are eternally conditioned in the sense that they cannot trace back when they became conditioned. But that does not mean, Srila Prabhupada said, that one must remain conditioned. No, it depends on us. If we want to go back, then we can go back and start the process. That, of course, that's our understanding. The Mattvas, they have another understanding, but that's not our they have these different according to them there are different souls. And there are souls who are never cannot be liberated. But that's not what Srila Prabhupada taught us. No, that's quite different.
My understanding is that some souls, like demons, get liberation. They go to Brahman, but then they have to fall down from there, and then they might get liberated. They might go up and down a few times, but eventually they learn. Eventually they come to their senses and they surrender to Krishna. They meet a devotee, and they can go back to Godhead, back to an actual personal, eternal relationship with Krishna. But it may take many, many, many lifetimes.
Yes, because to enter the spiritual world you need Ananya Bhakti, otherwise you cannot enter. So, but they get liberation, they get bored, they fall down, but they have been in contact with Krishna, so they are quite pure. But still, it's up to them, because then they pure means you see reality. And so it's up to them. We have this freedom of the spirit soul, and Krishna will reciprocate that. But there is a good chance. Of course, we can understand Kamsa had a certain role to play in this pastime, and he plays the role of the bad guy. So yes, Krishna is grateful and gives him liberation, but he cannot enter because he does not accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. But being killed by Krishna, purification is there, and then that means you are on the liberated platform. You see the reality, the transcendental reality. So then it's up to you to go further and develop devotion or not. So that is the freedom. Without freedom, there is no love. So it's up to them then finally. But yes, very good. So thank you. There are two others who raised their hands, and interesting points, Mother Prabhupada Priya. Thank you. So, Pavitra Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the nice explanation of the chapter. Maharaj, when you yesterday when you started the chapter, you said the 5 brothers to Sala Mustika, they were born from a king and they were brahmanas, but they become kshatriyas. They like to do wrestling.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, what is the past life of Kuvalayapida, the elephant?
Kuvalayapida?
Yeah.
I don't know. I cannot answer your question. But if someone has read that somewhere in the scriptures, please let me know. I also would like to know that. But of course, Kuvalayapida was an instrument of Kamsa, but he was very fortunate. He was in an animal body and he was killed by Krishna. So that's very fortunate. Thank you, Pavitra Prabhu. Sorry, I cannot answer your question.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
So, Lalita Priti Maya, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, my question is also a little similar to Pavitra Prabhu's. So I was like a little curious to know, because Krishna here he played a lot with Kuvalayapida before killing him, just as like Krishna played on the hoods of Kaliya. Even he took pleasure in fighting with Kuvalayapida. So I was wondering if Kuvalayapida had done something good deeds in his past life so that he could give some Veera Rasa to Krishna. So I was just thinking of this, Maharaj.
Yeah, is also the elephant keeper, that they were instruments of Kamsa, but to have that opportunity to be killed by Krishna, even if you are a demon, yeah, there must be a special reason that I don't know. But one thing is sure, in Krishna's pastimes, nothing happens without a reason. So we see only a part of the picture. But thank you for asking that question. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I have another question from
Yeah,
the
good.
previous chapter, the yesterday's class. Like when we were discussing about the bad omens which Kamsa saw, we saw that a man smeared with oil, he was wearing this Java garland, and he told that's the hibiscus flower. And I remember whether I read in ISKCON Desire Tree or I don't know somewhere. It's like given we should not offer hibiscus flowers to Krishna. So I just wanted to know if it is like authentic. Why we should not offer hibiscus flowers? Because in South India, hibiscus flowers is abundantly available and everyone offers those flowers to the Lord.
Yeah, this hibiscus flowers, that I don't know that either. But it's interesting questions. It shows how much more insight we can gain in these pastimes. But yeah, we are limited. We cannot understand all these points. But this hibiscus, that I don't know, that this type of flower, that good point. Thank you. We will now hear from Mother Sitarani, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, I just wanted to share about Kuvalaya Pida from Garga Samhita.
Oh, that's good. Here we are going to hear it now. Good.
So Kuvalaya Pida was Bali Maharaj's son called Mandagiri in his past life.
Okay.
And he was going for a pilgrimage in Rangashetra, and when he went to take the darshan, he pushed everybody around with his arms to get to the front and ended up pushing a sage who cursed him that you're walking like an elephant, you're pushing everybody left, right, and center, so you become an elephant. And the moment he heard that curse, he realized that he had committed a great offense, and he fell down at his lotus feet and asked for forgiveness. And that's when that sage told him that even though I've cursed you, but there is a benediction in it that Krishna will give you liberation. So he's not an ordinary personality. He was going to take darshan of the Lord. So he was a devotee. That's why Krishna ended up playing with it.
Jai.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. So we see a clear reason why it happened. So we always gentle with devotees. When you are in a line, don't push. You never know what happens. Thank you, Mother Sitaram. It was very nice. That I think there's one more. Swayam Jyoti Prabhu wants to comment on Lalita Pritamai's question, I guess. So who is Swayam Jyoti Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Earlier you talked about Madhu, Krishna killing the demon Madhu. Can you tell us a bit more about that Madhu or no?
Madhu.
He's called Madhusudan now.
Yeah, of course, there may be different Madhu demons, but there are the two demons at the beginning of the creation, Kaitav and Madhu.
Okay.
The Vedas, they stole the Vedas. They stole the Vedas, and yes, Brahma They stole the Vedas from Brahma's mind. And Brahma lost the Vedas. And Brahma asked Krishna again, please give me again these Vedas, that they stole it. I don't know how to create and so on, but it has been taken a very long time for me to get these Vedas to the heart. Tene Brahmaridaya Kaveh. So please give me the essence. And the Lord gave him the essence in 5 nights. And that has become the Pancharatna, that the practical side of devotional service. This Pancharatna was given by Brahma to Narada Muni, and then became Narada Pancharatna. He expanded it even. So, yes, that is Madhu, but I think there is also another Madhu demon, and I don't know that story. But maybe Mother Prabhupada Priya knows it. You know it?
No, I was raising my hand to say something else.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention, unless you want to continue with that.
No. You can
I was just gonna, because I was worried previously, I was like worried about Kamsa and whether he ever gets liberated. Then I remembered that Kamsa, he took birth in Chaitanya Lila as the Chandkazi. So he maintained his demoniac, his antagonistic nature. But Lord Chaitanya, he had that pastime with Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nrsingadev, and then he ended up supporting the Sankirtan movement. So it looks like Kamsa's on his way back to Godhead.
Okay, that's good news. That's good news. I was not aware of it. Chandkasi is Kamsa. Okay, thank you. So, anything else? Good. Then the next lesson is on the 7th. I will leave Prague on Monday, flying to Kiev in the Ukraine. Not an easy undertaking with this corona. And I will be traveling there in the Ukraine, but the 7th I will be at in Kiev, which is the capital city, in the big temple. They have beautiful Radha Madhav statues like in Mayapur. I don't know what the quality is there of the internet, but maybe that I have to switch off my camera. Let's see what happens there. But on the 7th, I've also in the afternoon, just, I think, because we start at 3 p.m. IST, and it will go till, normally we have till 5 p.m. but at 4:30 p.m. I have another conference, Zoom conference, a Zoom conference for the mission committee from the Ministry of Sannyas, and I'm the chairman of that committee, so I need to be there. Therefore, Mother just a moment. Mother Sakti Swarupini, she proposed that we have the conference half hour earlier, if that's possible, that we start at 2:30 on the 7th. That means for me it would start at noon time in Kiev. I hope that is okay. And the day after, I'm going from one city to another. Sometimes I'm traveling before the conference call, and when we arrive, then I have the conference call. let's see how it all works. But I prepared all the lessons, so it should be okay. I'm looking forward to see you on the 7th. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, Krishna Maharaj.